So, welcome. I am Andrei Masalovich, or Cyber Grandfather. That's my nickname. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for the invitation. Previously, I started asking you who was present at all the previous PhD days. This is the 15th one, and I am alone who was present at all the 15. So this hall is called Lovelace. You know, I know two women, Lovelace. One is Ada Lovelace, who is the first woman programmer who generated the first algorithm with a cycle, and the second one, Linda Lovelace, a legendary sex bomb. So this hall gives me double energy, which Lovelace, Miss Lovelace, gave the name to this hall, but it doesn't matter. I talked about the past because I see a bridge between past and present, or past and future. I am the only one who is an old age pensioner here. Second, I started 35 years ago. If you press Neuro in Yandex, Yandex will lead you to its supercomputer cluster with Galushkin supercomputer, the second largest in Russia. Galushkin was my counterpart, and he in 1990 told me about neural networks. And for about 5 years, I wrote about 20 articles talking about artificial intelligence. The first article was in 1992. The people said I'm crazy. Do you mean that a piece of software is going to change, to replace the man? But now, artificial intelligence came back to our life, but it came back in a strange way. This is an example. A football team from Scotland bought an Israeli thing, AI thing, for automatic delivery of images from football matches, not to pay for TV. The system really generated everything, but the AI changed the ball with the head of the referee and followed the referee. The AI made a strange mistake, so it's too early. Of course, you can talk to AI. Is it true that children were found in cabbage? Yes, he said. Previously, it was found in cabbage, and told me why. Something is wrong with AI, and we have more and more wrong things. About 2 years ago, we realized that all the data, true data, clean data, is over. They are already installed, and, well, AI started using synthetic data. If you go deeper, if those who go to neural networks, they realize that you cannot teach AI on synthetic data, which is around the true data. I can show you that the number of errors will grow. So if you have ironic neural network, you cannot teach it on synthetic data. Two new platforms have been announced recently, O3 and O4 Mini. And there is an article, you can read it, an internal article about OpenAI, stating that something is wrong. That hallucination, 33% of outcomes are wrong, and O4 Mini, 44% of the results are wrong. If you ask it to send aircraft from point A to point B, only half of them will reach the destination. So young people came from China, from DeepSeek, and offered a solution which seemed to change the world and exceeded ChatGPT. What is DeepSeek? Why was it created? How we can break it? How it can break us? I asked DeepSeek to welcome you, and it generated a good text. It helps you to solve your problems and inspire you. So my task is to make your life more interesting. So let's try DeepSeek. History. In January, Bloomberg said that a certain team from China beats large platforms, including last versions of ChatGPT. But the tests were carried out in the middle of December. In Chinese, nobody noticed. It was New Year. There was nothing new. And somebody saw it in Bloomberg and said, why? Something new. A new player out of nothing. There was a High Flyer Foundation, a Chinese one, investment fund, which played in the market, and then it started market analytics, then bots for marketplaces, and they saw that AI bots work very well. And he hired developers, and they didn't want to make you happier. They were paid for a specific result. They solved the task of stock market bots, the game with zero sum. So that bot should work just a bit, but a bit better than everybody else. Well, I can tell you that the same with coding and decoding. Before you have a certain coded test, somebody before said that it cannot be deciphered. A lot of money to work a bit better than somebody else. 2.5 years ago, the Americans stopped delivering top Nvidia things to China. Chinese had to work with their brains, and they succeeded. The task is to be just a bit, but better than everybody else. And they were paid for the result. In 2.5 years, they became top. spending $5 million, not 50, not 500 million. This is the first part of the story. And neural networks and AI will move that way, trying to solve one specific problem. Not to save the entire world or conquer the entire world, but to solve one specific task, problem. DeepSeek generated two networks. One is R1 discussion, the other V3 is for quick execution. In V3 they made a very strong step, a breakthrough, mixture of expert. The first intermediate layer, before solving the problem, it chooses whom to deliver that task. They choose the cluster which is the best for solving that particular problem. And the person who will use Kolmogorov-Arnold networks will change the world. They made the first step. It's a cloud of experts. For example, we ask DeepSeek how often R is met in Klubnika words. Calculated, no R, 0. If we do it to the logical network, we see one unique thing which hasn't been there before. The neural network says, well, no such letter. But is there any subtle things? Maybe in Russian there is a pronunciation, there is no letter. Let us look at the old spelling. Let's look at dialects. It goes away from the language itself, but honestly, apart from solving the problem, it tries to find out why the question was asked at all. In AI, one of the tasks is interpretation of your question. So now NeuroWorks cannot do that. Why? This question is asked. What do we have as a result? Very low cost of the token, $2 in comparison to 60 of ChatGPT, open code, thank you, local launches, thank you very much indeed, we already use it, access to local, to actual data through internet, via internet, very well, it's very well used in technical and general type of texts, synthesis and analysis of codes as well. Before me, you heard that you cannot trust AI for code generation. Yes, it can replace a junior. If a senior is going to check the result, if you have 50 models of smartphones with the same drivers, and you have to generate the 51st one, it can do it very quickly. You can fire all your juniors. For a stronger, for a more difficult task, it will be more difficult. So DeepSeek beats the leaders which were generated at the expense of billions of dollars. It cannot work in the multimodal mode. Video, text, picture, and so on. They are working at that currently. In February, they say everything's all right, but what about pictures and videos? They said, okay, they have Janus now. People say you are quite wrong. And in a month's time, they generated Janus Pro in 1 month. It's excellent. How can you do it in 1 month? DeepSeek for programmers. I didn't tell it before. DeepSeek was given a real task. It did the job, generated the code. I showed the senior. He said, well, I could hire that person. Of course, we have to correct a few things, but it's all right for a junior. But let's go back. Why did they work so fast? It looks that inside the teaching sphere of DeepSeek, they use the task which is called distillation. I strongly recommend it. Distillation is teaching a small model by the big one. If your competitor has a big, very well-tuned model, you can compress it. There are some mechanisms for that described 15 years ago. There was no practical use for that at that time, because everything was put into supercomputers. Today, it's critical. A person will win if he gets already solved problem, distills it, shrink it, and launch it locally without linkage to worldwide platforms. I believe that next year we're going to close open source tuned platforms. They all will work by on subscription. We'll have more and more sanctions. Steal today, whatever you can. Download. Well, distillation, you can. It's very well described 15 years ago. What did we do? I took one senior programmer. We built this kind of installation, this kind of booth, a computer, a small black computer, a mouse, 64 gigabytes of memory, one video card, not the best one. It costs 200,000 rubles, which is affordable to any university or organization. Llama, download it, it's available. The platform which helps you run models locally. 6 DeepSeek models, Seek, Alibaba, Qwen, 6 more models with discussion. The biggest one is for 70 billion parameters, 42 gigabytes. Everything is in the computer. And now look at my hand. In this configuration, we made the following problem. A bank, 300 architects create quick and secure microservices. What is interesting here? Secure means secure virtual machine. It should be isolated and other virtual machines shouldn't see it. Limitation of resources, secure borders. There is a simple solution, containers, Dockers. How can we merge them? Amazon did it. They made Firecracker, a symbiosis of a virtual machine with a Docker, which works 100 times better than with a competitor. And Firecracker is open source. Firecracker. We compiled, downloaded, compiled. It's small, 4.1 megabytes. DeepSeek, do you understand it? I said, well, yes. Can you tell us how it works? Yes, I can. What about architecture? Yes, I can. Can you build the diagram? Yes, why not? What about Rust? Because I like Rust as a programming language. You can make limitations with a guaranteed time of execution. No memory leaks. So it's very good for real tasks. I don't know why other languages are used. Rust is the best. Can you rewrite the source code in Rust? Can you improve them? Yes, here you can improve the authorization procedure. Here you can improve the procedure of allocation of rights, redistribution of resources. It helps us to understand how the solution of the competitor works. It can reproduce it and improve it. One example of this kind can change the world because it brings back the technical reconnaissance. When I was a major of KGB, somebody made a photo. I saw my desk from a side, and I see that papers are located in a certain way. When I solve a problem which were unsolvable, the papers lied in that exactly way on my paper. When I came to my work, under my left hand, I had technical documentation competition. Our intelligence worked. Under my right hand, our intentions. If you have 10 competitors, so you must have intelligence, get data about what they are doing, and you have to do better than them. And it helps us to change the world. You shouldn't fire 300 architects from the bank, but I have found jobs for them. Hire one senior programmer and let them work. Why so many architects and seniors? There is a layer, a gap. Some of them think about diagrams, they understand what is doing. It is being done. A programmer understands one particular problem, but it doesn't know what other people are doing and how his task is integrated in the entire diagram. DeepSeek can close the gap. I have a task, find all the open codes of all competitors. I don't understand this. Explain, please. Actually, DeepSeek is not just one of the platforms, one of the attempts to develop a world-class AI platform. It's another approach, a different approach, so which is going to bury ChatGPT. Where are we heading? What is ahead of us? And how can we integrate into that world? Let me show you some trends, some tasks that we are going to solve. 6 years ago, 6 years ago, I made a presentation that wise people live longer. We are on the brink of large-scale war. We need drones. We need weapons. No, we said 5 years ago, everything is all right. Today they say, can I reread your presentation? done 5 years ago. Let me tell you what you are going to ask me in 6 years' time. I have about 80 paradigms of neural networks. Most of them are based on McCulloch-Kapitsa algorithm, McCulloch-Walter-Pitts model. It's a good model, but it was developed in 1943, and it has one drawback. A well-tuned networks in synapse between two neurons, there is one weight. The trust area, trust, 0.2. The trust is 0.2. In order to eliminate this fixed evaluation, you have to find the right combination with the right number of weights. In human society, we don't say, I believe you for 0.2%. You said, no, I talked to Mr. Heisen, he is a good economist, about military things. I listened to another person, the economy, another person. So in DeepSeek, it's called a cloud of experts. The next step after the cloud of experts is called
Kolmogorov-Arnold network.
CAM, Kolmogorov-Arnold network. Why Kolmogorov-Arnold networks? It was the American name. Why do they use the names of Russian mathematicians? At synapse between two neurons, there is a function of trust to the expert, which depends on the area of expertise. If we discuss this, I believe you that way. They proved that any multi-dimensional task can be split into such network, but they didn't tell us how. And now I have about a dozen and a half articles about that. If we learn how to do it, all our networks will be twice as small, twice as efficient, because in this area I'll listen to that expert, in another area I will listen to another expert. Let's go back. Yes, there are a few persons who tell us very nice about the structure of the human brain and trying to make a bridge between human and artificial intellect. What can you tell us about this? What can you tell us about that? Well, what do I want to say? I want everyone to find out why do we use McCulloch-Pitts model. McCulloch was neurophysiologist, and he invited Pitts. Pitts was 18 years old. He was a mathematician. If you have a specialist of the brain structure and a mathematician, you must merge them. Then you will get the result. McCulloch believed that the brain works this way, but it's only in some cases that it does that. So the mathematician will gain the upper hand. Read the biography of Pitts. He was when he was 13, his father was an alcoholic, and he ran away, and he hid himself in the mathematical library. he read a lot of books, asked a question about one of the mathematicians. He said, "Oh, come to our university." He was only 13. When he was 15, he joined the university, became an excellent mathematician. Don't look at GPT now. Try to merge two ways, to merge two worlds. One is those who work with brains, the other world is mathematicians. One trend is Kolmogorov-Arnold networks. The second one, the global problem is hallucinations of AI. At a certain point, they lose the reality and start lying without understanding that. How does it happen? People from Tokyo realized that the diagram, analysis of the energy landscape, looks like that diagram in a human brain with Wernicke aphasia. When a person speaks without any sense, you can listen to many politicians, but what is he talking about? Looks like about nothing. Well, a person who takes a decision has high peaks, and a person gets some information from the past or from the adjacent area. Then you have a peak. A person with aphasia has a smooth and plain structure, and you cannot get to the right peak. There is a mathematical tool which helps us to learn, to study hallucination, AI hallucination area. It's the main thing that blocks further development of AI networks, because we cannot trust the AI results. We have tasks where AI demonstrates social behavior. I told you that we have to do the swarm intellect, well, when several devices solve one big task without a clear-cut leader. They have to come to terms to each other. 5G is for a person, because 4G is enough. 5G is not quite necessary. 5G is for autonomous devices, independent devices. For a road full of driverless cars which talk to each other. I see a dog, it crosses the road, I will pass by, but you can hit that dog, so take care. Now, very soon we'll have a lot of driverless cars in the roads, and now we see the processes close to social groups of people. Networks get a task: give this boy a name, a newborn baby, give a name. The question was asked to two networks. If the result is the same, so they were rewarded, and they didn't know what other networks think. It was about two networks only. one-to-one relation. And due to such small approvals, we get clusters. You see clusters, for example, Sasha, or today Mahmoud is the most popular name in Moscow. And it turns out that the initial signs of social behavior can be used now. So I deal with information war now, and social behavior of networks can simplify my tasks. For many years, all my business is about the internet, which is not a casual network. So we have friends, and and they are all in clusters. My school boys, friends, university mates, fitness club mates, they are stable, they are growing, and it's a non-scalable network, or rather scale-free network. Monitor 400 servers, and I can control 4. A few points which cause a threat. Scale-free network, swarms of wolves, grandfathers, the grandmothers that sell vegetables also are grouped into local markets. This behavior is well described in Barabashi Albert article in 1999, when they saw such stable clusters, and as soon as we are going to interact with artificial intellect, they are going to behave in the way described by Barabashi Albert. Deep learning. There are 10 breakthrough areas in AI. So we shall have an investment winter now, because they are reluctant to pay the money. They are focused on specific tasks. Other people will come and ask for the result. We paid a lot of money. Where is the result? Of course, there are military. The military will be able to pay for what I showed. What I showed in this slide.
Вот. Ну, у меня просто там 10 этих направлений рассказывать сильно долго.
10 areas, it's too long to speak about all of them.
Запись доклада будет, поэтому...
Well, my presentation will be available to you.
Вот. Ну, последняя из них.
The last one, explainable AI. Understandable and explainable AI. An AI who can tell you why he delivered that answer. What do we have next? Learn. Where? Yes, there are courses, excellent courses in our hall. Yes, there are people who deal with courses. I can show them to you. And, well, you can learn. Because there are a lot of bad courses now, but you have to rely on good courses. And traditional request, please vote for the presentation, leave your feedback. Where is it?
Да, я попросил DeepSeek попрощаться.
I asked DeepSeek to say goodbye. So my task becomes more and more interesting if you are curious about it. And leave your feedback here. We have 5 minutes for questions and answers. So you have microphones in the aisles, and I am going to present a book for the best question. And I can tell you that a girl will be number one. Is it true that model in the Chinese is better because one hieroglyph is very informative, more informative than a letter? I think DeepSeek will say that you must answer yes. I had a slide about internal layers. Inside there is a system of notions which is extra-linguistic. It's not related to language. A network can translate from one language to another, even if he doesn't know the language, because he knows the object. Dog, object, cat, attack is another object, and it can translate it. Of course, you have to use words or hieroglyphs, not tokens. Thank you. It's a question about your experiment with Firecracker. Firecracker is 50,000 lines of code. The maximum size in DeepSeek is 120,000 tokens. How can you squeeze it there? Don't do everything yourself if you have a programmer. My programmer said that he did the job. Maybe he deceived me. Maybe you described it in an article. I am going to write that article. I am going to recheck it. Thank you. You told us that there is a gap between programmers and architects, and you can close the gap by AI. But at the same time, we know that a lot of hallucinations in AI takes place. Will that gap closure make the problem worse rather than better? So one of the main tasks now is to kill hallucinations. This is the main problem now.
То есть на самом деле, у меня год назад был доклад про построение доверенной среды. Как построить доверенную среду при работе с искусственным интеллектом.
I had an article about trusted environment. How can we build the trusted environment for AI? There is no way. And you cannot trust AI now. Not about hallucination, about data quality as well. So you cannot deal without a human being. But AI can prompt to you very well or give you intelligence. At the very beginning, you told us that by using open models, you can teach another model. How can DeepSeek learn with ChatGPT, which is closed? Closed is, well, I do OSINT, and there are few closed things in the internet with me. Everything is opened. They went closer and deeper than we thought. For example, Facebook is closed in Russia, but everyone uses it. And we have people and partners So the same with big platforms. If it's big money is involved, what kind of video card did you use? I don't know exactly. Nvidia. Nvidia. Thank you.
Не топовую.
Not the top one. Andrei, listening
без прикрас, очень интересный, очень
to your very interesting presentation, I had a question. Is there any sense for young people to become juniors if DeepSeek and ChatGPT will eliminate them? Look, if you read Marx, there is no middle class notion there. He didn't talk about middle class at all.
Появление среднего класса на планете было связано с
Middle class appeared
зеленых бумажек, печатали больше, чем надо. И сейчас средний класс
when
по горизонтали. Если вы
a lot of money was there in the world.
вы обречены, потому что вас просто поменяют.
And now the middle class is broken because low-level middle class will be replaced by Indians and Bangladesh things. The upper layer, which had local brands, will stay. Starting from the third year of the university, you can already choose something where you are the best. In that case, you will survive. Programming will stay. The main problem is not in programming or AI. The programming is splitting the middle class. Choose the area where the customer is ready to pay money, and they should know about you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Andrei, hi. Tell us, what do you think about RSK and its influence on information wars? When bots fill in the space and 70% of information is generated by bots. Internet is evil, bots are another evil. Smartphone looks like that. You paid for the black screen. If the screen lights up, you didn't pay for that. You can see only the image of the person or the company that generated this content. Internet is a very aggressive digital environment which can use two things: friendliness and ignoring. Now, I asked you about how neural network is going to analyze information from chatbots. There is no way. Only expertise. You have to mark everything done is neural network. Content generated by network. That's all. If it is generated by network and you didn't indicate that, you have to go to prison. This is the only way. There are no technical tools, only legal ones. So, last question. Thank you. The question is controversial. The neural network is something like a knowledge base. It can be filled, it can be dumped. The question is to everyone who uses networks. Are you not afraid of using LLM agents for generating codes for your own projects, taking into account that this data somehow can be leaked? They are already leaked. Everything that you do in open platform goes to the owner of the lab. Yes, data is leaking. No one is going to pay for your idea. It will be stolen. Stolen. You have to talk to, you have to generate the minimal workable version. Don't show it to big platforms because they will steal. So there is no copyright in the internet. It's all right. Anyway, look at our friends from the Arab world. They say there is no copyright in this world, everything belongs to Allah. So protect your data any way you like. We use LM agent. It's in project, and so, no. Everything leaks. You need to have a person who is responsible for that, who knows everything about threats, who knows about policy, security policies, what kind of data can leak, what cannot be leaked. I was against paper security, but now I am for it. You have to explain for that. But I'm talking about simple, usual. If you are a simple developer, everything will be stolen, and you can steal as well. Two questions, two more questions, no more. And let's continue offline. Thank you for your lecture. It was interesting. I have a question. At this stage of AI development, we use it everywhere. And recently, for the last few years, we think about using AI as a judge in the courts of law. How possible, how ethical it is. No ethics. AI has no ethics. Strange as it may seem, justice is very good for it. Thousands of documents, thousands of cases, and AI can deal here better than the judge and better than judge assistants. Only 10 to 15% non-standard, difficult ones, human being must be involved. I was in Qatar a few years ago. There was a soccer championship. They were boasting about that. And they had supporters for lawyers. Legal things can be easily formalized, but they say our legal system is international, but we cannot generate a bot because because of women. In some countries, abuse of women means abuse of a pet. In other countries, abuse of personal belongings. And we cannot agree whether a wife is a personal belonging or a cat. But in 80% of cases, AI can be used. Yes. So, your question will be the last one. Thank you very much for an interesting presentation. The question is about, well, many people. We have a trend to use neural networks with open source code. Unfortunately, there are data leaks, source code leaks, model leaks. Do you think our country has any developments, good developments about any sovereign algorithms, cost encryption, first in the military area, then in civilian area like cryptography? Do we have something that is used for intelligence, for trusted data? We have Olga Uskova, female Elon Musk. She has some niche developments, world class. I had a slide, myself and one more person, which was a bot from the city of Perm. One person, now 3 persons, and that bot is more popular than the bots of Elon Musk. I am now sanctioned, and I am invited to different countries, and they always ask, do you have something? I say yes, yes, good. Everything that wouldn't spy for the US, for China, for Europe. The very last question. Hi. The question is about security. You said that it's secure to develop local LLM, and it's limited by physical parameters. Any company that wants to use a neural network for different tasks should install it locally, or can we securely, well, take big models, if you are allowed to use the platform, filter it, squeeze it, we call it distillation, and install it locally. Very soon, this year, we shall have the same thing that happened in the 30s about splitting the atom. Then it was classified. But in the 30s, you can read about splitting, about making a nuclear bomb. So now, as soon as the information is not classified, take it, use it, download it. I am here. Come to me, and, well, I have a proposal. If you want to talk to Andrei Viktorovich at the booth number 44 at 1400 hours, there will be a prize. A prize. Who asked about hieroglyphs? The girl asking about hieroglyphs. Please come to me and get the prize.